Notice that the people are much
All right, stop
bigger
at the
than the
station.
car.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, so we should talk. It is
Yes.
the 20th of December, just in case, because we're going to tell you it's going to snow this afternoon at 3 o'clock.
And here's why it also matters at the 20th December, because this is your last day on regular mail to actually get things by priority mail on time for Christmas.
But if you're watching this on demand, you're a little like, tell me about it.
Yeah, you're like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it.
And even on Amazon Prime, which of course is my staple, I realized, yeah, they've got 2 days shipping, but one of Zoe's presents, which I won't say which one, hasn't even, I ordered it last week, it hasn't even been shipped yet. So it really doesn't matter how fast it ships here if they haven't actually put it in a box to put into, so.
Can you blame
anyone
them?
Anyone else doing that
Can
too?
you blame them? You know, it's like, you know what's going on and how crazy they are.
I know, the empathy.
And you have to have some, little Johnny might not get the puppy you're buying. No, that would be wrong. The train set, but...
Why is this package leaking, Daddy?
Why aren't there air holes? We woke up this morning to a blackout.
I know.
And you were so adorable, by the way. Because I love blackouts, and it's like, dun, 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 dun. And
this is why I have a huge stock of candles, because he's beside himself.
And so they weren't where I kept them. And so I went in, and I said, Erin. She was asleep. I said, Erin. I said, I need to know where the candles are.
You were like vibrating with excitement.
And Erin says, and I said, so, because we have a blackout. And Erin looks at me, and she goes, what happened?
I was asleep, okay? I'm sorry that I was asleep when my husband pounced on me.
I didn't go climb a pole and find out. I just know that the lights don't work. And so...
And did I have all of the candles available for your use?
Yes, you
Were
did.
they not all laid out much like the cashiers from Walmart yesterday?
Yes, they are.
Yes, so there.
Scarier when you
The kids were all excited, too, when we left. They're like, this is so cool.
It is cool.
We're using candles. And Zoe goes, like the ancient people.
Oh, and she was talking about us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Little snot.
Oh, I love her.
Some big news in Ogden. We didn't mention this. In Ogden, they may now have chickens.
You can have chickens in Ogden? Congratulations.
In the city area, you can have chickens. Only 6.
What about roosters?
No,
Thank
just
God.
chickens. The opponents of this bill, their big argument was, first it's chickens, then goats and pigs.
Chickens are the gateway drug.
To pigs.
And then everything goes
to pigs,
bad.
evidently. So
I'm pretty sure the pigs are a lot more high maintenance than anyone's prepared for in the city.
just Salt Lake City, Utah, second best run state financially in the country. I'm just gonna say
Nice.
that.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
That's very cool.
All right.
Back about the chickens, though, our neighbors across the street, Charlie and Shannon, had chickens when their boys were younger. And
It was cool.
Zoe was like 18 months, and she was in love with them. We would have to go over every day and feed them, and she was just obsessed with the chickens.
Yeah.
And then one day, the chickens went to live on the farm because
All of them.
the statutes changed in Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
And they were going to
the
get little.
farm.
They were going to get little quail instead, and so every day she would wait for the tiny birds to come. And when the tiny birds never came, because I guess Charlie and Shannon changed their mind, she had to invent tiny birds. It was a very long. Did everyone's kids have this when they were little? Their friends, their companions who were invisible. Zoe's would like live in her liquor cabinet, and they went on trips to the beach and shopping.
You'd be shopping, and she goes, the little birds came with us.
And then one day it was very,
okay.
very bad when Todd was doing cooking squab for Cooking with Todd and the Toddler. And I'm like, did you think this one through before you put Zoe up on the counter with this?
Yeah, they look like butterflies. Okay, we'll go with butterflies. I had chickens. I had 2 chickens, Ebenezer and Zachary, when I was growing up. And they would ride on the handlebars of my bike as I rode down the street. That didn't make me look odd and not fit in at all.
How did they hold on to your handlebars?
Very tightly.
How did you even get them to do that?
They just hung on.
Did you get them the little goggles? Because that would have been awesome.
Oh, and speaking of... No. So, Erin, what'd you get, a Michael's? Those little projects?
Zoe and I went shopping, and we were getting some Christmas stuff, and those
seen...
little foam projects that they do, and it's like a certain amount of pieces, and you can put it all together.
And there it is. Look. Everyone's, look at that thing. And so they're foam rubber. And
this one was cute. It's like a little snow globe, and then had the little star and everything inside it.
So what happens is there's little tabs that go into the other piece that has holes in it, and it's supposed to hold together. Well, after about 40 minutes, I broke out the glue gun because that was not going to happen. And I was sitting there, and I was starting to get, now it's an hour. And we're still doing it. And she's still hanging in there. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know what the new rule is? The new rule is if you buy it, you have to help build it. So you next time, and it's an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm keeping the cool, and I'm just like, there it is, we're done. And there's a couple extra parts, but who cares? And and I was rather frustrated. And I was about to tell Erin my new rule about
Oh no, you were quite cranky about it. Yeah,
and then Zoe, in a very soft voice, says, "Well, you know, Dad, the important thing is that we did it together."
Good one, Zoe. Good one. So that didn't crush you out earlier, right? You didn't feel that pain of your heart twisting violently in your chest. That's
horrible.
Good, because there's a 157 piece that she hasn't tried yet that's up this week.
I won't be around.
It's for one of the play dates.
I will not be around.
Sure.
All right, so you're going to tell me about passwords. I'm going to shut this door.
Okay, you trusting, pitiful fools. You sweet, trusting, misguided fools. That would be including us, by the way.
Is this on passwords?
Well, yeah, every year Splash Data compiles a list of the most popular passwords, and this is based on millions of stolen logins that were made public.
Whoa, wait. So how did they get this?
Well, you always find them after data breaches. You always find out what all the passwords were. That's how we found out, like, the credit reporting agencies were still using, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something? Yeah.
Adam.
The most important financial data establishments
1, 2, 3, 4,
in our
5.
country, and they were using,
1, 2, 3.
admin for their password. So apparently none of us really changed.
So tell me what they are.
We just owned ourselves. Okay, top 2 choices based on more than 5 million leaked passwords.
Okay.
They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and password. There were some new additions this year, like Star Wars, because no one likes that, or I Love You and whatever. The most aptly, perhaps, was the new addition, Let Me In the top 10. And this one really was adorable, Trust No One, because that was the first one that they cracked.
Really?
For password. That is just really, really sad. So they said basically anything that you're using that is pop culture, that's popular right now, that's top of mind, they're like, that's the first thing they try. So number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, password. Number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 was number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was number 4.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, that's tricky.
Was number 5. And then
good.
number 7, of course, Let Me In.
You know, I have a new theory, because my passwords are great. But I have a new theory, and that is to use your password, use part of a song.
Oh.
Because you'll never forget it. Like,
a good point.
And bingo was his name-o.
I always end up with like phrases, which gets really long, and then I've got an underscore and like 3 capitalizations, and I'm trying to remember where I had the underscore. And
yeah. And they're just like, we love our baby with a silent Q. And you're like, where's the Q go? She's trying to yell this.
Obviously in baby. Duh.
Hello. I can't believe we still have computers now after all this.
Oh, geez.
If you have a little kid, or you're attending kids on Friday, you know what's really fun to do is throw them on like
on tracks.
Is the fast one going all the way to Ogden? Or is it just local?
I don't know if that's going to count. Let me check. Utah Transit Authority, Salt Lake County officials, Free Fair Friday, so I'm guessing just Salt Lake County. This is one of the things is because we've got so many problems right now with inversion, local businesses are actually stepping up to help finance free fair days. And they're actually asking, if you're a corporation, you could help us, we'd love that. So the big goal is they're saying, look, we really want you to, all travel on UTA is free anywhere UTA serves on Friday. So that would include Frontrunner.
You just like ride around all day.
Yeah, they're just saying, we're asking you to try it, give it to you for free. And if you see it's a real workable, winnable solution for your commute, then maybe you'll do it. And they think that's really what the benefit's going to be. So,
see, a lot of people think that, and I can totally understand this, is they find out where the stop is and then they figure out how far work is. Mm-hmm. You know, and can you make that transition?
Yeah, if you're running late or whatever.
6 blocks or whatever.
And the nice thing, though, I didn't realize this, but 50% of our state's air pollution is from auto emissions. Mm-hmm. 50%.
Right.
So if we could reduce that even by half, maybe our children could actually go outside and play during recess.
It's the Wild West syndrome. It's like one man, one horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the true word, it really did hit me home this year when I realized half the kids in my Zoe's class have allergies or asthma, and they literally could not go outside to play for an entire week. Our children cannot go outside in our great state.
You know what that's like?
And play, because it would give them like cancer.
You know why? You know what that's like?
What?
It's like Mars. You can't go outside.
It's kind of different, honey.
No, it's not. That's
That's
where
because
it's
there's
headed.
a complete absence of oxygen and it explodes your lungs.
How different is
Also by the petrifying cold, which immediately would encapsulate your blood and make it into a solid.
Now, if you're gonna bring
But other than that, it's exactly the same.
if you're gonna bring science into this, fine.
Okay.
All right, time
Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Scott and Amy. Good morning, Gianna.
On
Good morning,
Facebook.
Karen. Okay, yes, well, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily newsroom, and she is brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people. You can still get a great auto and repair your credit by giving them a call at 801-921-9819. Also, by Always Black Friday, 30 to 70% off every day, and some outrageously good things right now, especially electronics, wireless headphones. This is the time to go and shop. They're always Black Friday. And, of course, by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. There's a special right now so they can check out your equipment for winter, make sure everything's working well, and save you hundreds of dollars in heating costs. Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my darling, what is going on today?
Good morning, everyone. Here's what's making news Wednesday, December 20th on GephartDaily.com. A second teenage boy has pleaded guilty in the shooting of Desiree Turner, the 14-year-old Cache County girl who was left for dead last February in a dry canal bed. Jason Decker, now 17, pleaded guilty to reduced charges on Tuesday in First District Court. He admitted to planning Turner's murder along with the shooter, Coulter Danny Peterson. Decker's sentencing is scheduled for February 7th. Both face a maximum life sentence in prison. Police say 2 Washington County women are behind bars after being pulled over with 3 ounces of meth inside their car. 21-year-old Mackenzie Lee Clark of St. George and 30-year-old Ashley Marie Harmer of Washington City were originally pulled over for an equipment violation but kept driving for several miles before pulling over. Police brought in a drug dog who sniffed out the drugs. Both are now facing charges of felony drug possession with intent to distribute. And it was a busy night for Salt Lake firefighters Tuesday. Crews were called to 730 West and 840 South around 6:30 p.m. When they arrived, they found a mobile home engulfed in flames. Tight spaces and down power lines provided a challenge for the 24 firefighters who tackled the blaze, but after about 40 minutes, they were able to put the fire out. No one was injured, although 2 people were displaced. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. And time now for your Wasatch Front forecast, brought to you by our cutting-edge sponsors at Brio Technologies, home of Utah's top audio-visual specialists. Expect a big change in the weather as we head towards the weekend. Highs Wednesday will reach nearly 50 degrees, but that won't last for long. A winter storm is pushing its way into the state, and with it comes a sharp drop in temperatures and a couple of days worth of snow flurries. With bitter cold temps expected this weekend, there's pretty good chance we will have snow on the ground Christmas Day. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com.
Heating and Air, the deal that John has put together is incredible. I know you're thinking, well, it's going to snow this afternoon. Why do I want an air conditioner? He's got a deal that you replace both if you need a higher efficiency. The new air conditioners use like 75% less electricity. And here's the deal. They work together, so why not replace both and get better money savings and efficiency? The deal is you get $2,000 off. You get a free air scrubber, and when you add it all together, that you'll save $3,200, which is basically like getting a free furnace. If you want more information, just go to utahplumbing.com and talk to John or the rest of the crew, and they'll take care of you.
Allutahplumbing.com. Okay, now we got to go to Tell Me Something Good. This is a good one. You're going to like this. It's brought to you by Always Black Friday, where it's 30 to 70% off every single day.
Tell me something good.
I am so in love with this guy. James John McGowan is homeless. He was walking.
Can I say something? We have a lot of these stories
There's
about
a
people
reason, I
saving children from burning buildings and
giving their last $20 to get somebody off the road who's run out of gas. And,
yeah.
And I one of the reasons that I love these is because I know that we've had a lot of really negative press this year with the homeless population here in Salt Lake City, and I think it's getting better.
Rio Grande, right?
Yeah, but also because this is a group that has like lost their safety net. They're the ones among us who needed the most help, and there was not that last thing to catch them the way most of us have.
Yes.
And the fact that even in that place, they're willing to give anything or everything they have to me is so moving. James has been homeless for quite a while. He has PTSD. He was a soldier. He was walking past a courthouse in Glasgow, and he noticed a stranger had accidentally left their window rolled down, and that there was a purse sitting right there inside the car with a wad of money poking out. And he's just like, he said, my first thing was to look around and make sure that I wasn't seeing like a hidden camera somewhere.
Right.
And then he went, no. And then he went, oh, crap. And then he said, that's so much money. And it was just sitting there. And he went, I thought if I opened the door and picked it up and took it into the courthouse, that someone would think I was stealing it.
Right.
And they would arrest me. He said, so he said, I couldn't think of anything to do, so I just stood there. And he guarded the money.
Really?
So he stood by this woman's car, guarded the money, freezing rain. Now, the car belonged to John McGonigal, who had been inside the courthouse as a witness.
It was his purse?
Yeah, well, it was his wife's purse.
Okay.
So when he came out and John had been standing there, he said, oh my gosh, thank you so much, and gave him $50 as a thank you. Now, here's the interesting thing. McConigal said, this man was homeless, alcohol dependent, an absolute gentleman. We were even having some banter on relays, and I followed the opposite Glasgow team from him. And he says, if I'd known, I would have taken the bag. So as they parted ways...
Soccer hooligan.
McGonigal said, I couldn't stop thinking about him. I couldn't. And he's a chip shop owner. Yeah, he potato chips, the fish and chips. Mm-hmm. And he said, so I decided to create a GoFundMe campaign, and the first $6,700 would go towards getting him set up and, in an apartment and kind of getting him ready to go again. In just 3 days, the page raised over $22,000.
What?
And here's the thing that they're doing now, though. Here's the tricky part. He has a picture of John with his wife, and she's shaking his hand with a big smile.
Right.
I think we put it up. John had wandered off, and now McGonigal's like, I've got $22,000. I want to get you set up.
Right.
And then they were going to donate some of the rest to the other homeless shelters. But now they have to find him. So they've had this big thing all over Glasgow of, have you seen this man?
Oh, funny.
And I'm just hoping that John isn't thinking, I gave the purse back. I mean, I'm hoping he doesn't think
most wanted reward $26,000.
But it's really funny. So John and his wife have been like, McGonigal have been walking out up and down like a lot of the homeless areas every night, going, "Do you know this guy? Do you know this guy?" Because fortunately they had taken the picture. So the big goal now is they want to be able to find John before Christmas so that they can put him into a place.
That is so funny.
Isn't that cool?
And I think about these. And what was it? FundMe? Was it?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. And if you've ever gone on and read some of the stories, this really,
Look at that
there he
face.
is.
Look at his
Hey, John.
face.
We can find him.
I know.
That's so funny.
Oh, and look how wet he is.
We're going to track him down.
And I'm sure he's like, what are you, you said, hey.
What's the dog all about? Really? That's a little over the top.
Such a sweet man, though. I hope they can find him by Christmas.
And you know what's so good? If you can legitimize the story and you can legitimize anybody else who was involved. So, because there's so many just crappy stories out there.
Well,
and scammers.
And sadly, Christmas is full of this. For every good story you see, there's going to be somebody who's trying to take advantage of you, and that's reality. Police talk about that. Somebody has had their nativity scene stolen twice in front of their house.
That just happened.
Yeah, and this is here in Salt Lake City, and police say this kind of stuff ramps up like quadruples during the holidays, and they say that it's back to that yin and yang of kindness, where it seems to bring out the worst in some people as well. It's interesting. But in John's position,
we're gonna hunt him.
It has made him an even more wonderful person.
We're gonna hunt him.
Isn't that cute though? And they're because they're laughing about it like, we don't want to freak him out and have him wonder why people keep asking about him, but we're trying to find him.
Hey,
so
real quick, we want to thank you, and the way we're doing this is trying to bribe you with a night out at Christopher's with you and 3 friends.
Nothing says I love you like meat.
And
it's
not
true.
just meat, really good prime meat.
Yeah, well, we went to Christopher's Prime Steakhouse because we wanted the most luxe steakhouse like in the state, and surprisingly they said yes. I have no idea why. So they give you dinner for 4. You come in, sit down, you get treated like a little princess. You talk and laugh with your friends or your family. You can connect again. Since it's Christmas and the holidays, you get to walk around and look at all the lights.
Downtown, that's great.
It's an amazing night, and all you have to do to enter is just simply drop your name today. Leave us a comment on the show today, either on the Gephardt Daily or Gephardt Approved Facebook pages, or on the Todd and Erin Facebook page. You're entered. We draw Friday. It is literally that simple because we're not bright enough to do a complicated contest.
All right, so coming up next, when you see a woman driving a police car, you're like...
laughing uncontrollably.
Oh, that's different. We'll find out what it is coming up next.
Yep. approval. Bad things happen to good people, helping you on the road to good credit with just the right car. Go to utahcreditapproval.com or call them at 801-404-7201. Also brought by Columbus Travel. Columbus Travel has an epic sale on cruises through the 21st of October. You can get a hotel and everything you can imagine just for less than the price you would of simple airfare. You have to talk to them first at columbusvacations.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com.
Apply today and drive away.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin morning stream on GephardtDaily.com.
That's so endearing.
Why Erin hates this song because it's been in our house and our son likes to play it.
Nonstop.
Yeah, but
For days.
you get the music.
You're not putting me in the spirit. Please make it stop.
The spirit to push me down the stairs.
Pretty much that's what I'm getting right
All right,
now.
so what's up with this lady? Is this Salt Lake City?
This is actually in Tremont, routine traffic stop. Happened yesterday when a Tremont officer tried to stop a car with 4 people inside for speeding.
Okay, all right.
So the police say the vehicle took off, and after a short chase, the driver of the car, who is Ashley Quintana, stopped the car, got out, and fled on foot. So she was arrested after a short foot chase.
Okay.
But before backup officers could arrive,
Right.
cops say the other people in the vehicle sped away.
Right.
Now, to me, if I were the officer, I would go, one woman's running off.
Yes.
Yet I have 3 people
In a car.
in the car with no one in the driver's seat. I would probably
I have a car.
stand there
I could, yes.
with the 3 suspects who would eventually probably tell me where the driver was. But he was incited to chase after her, caught her. So by the time he came back, and there's an empty spot where the car was and the suspects,
Oh, no.
they started looking all over, and they managed to find the car abandoned in front of Bear River High School.
Right.
Carissa Chacon was still inside. So Charissa was arrested and then placed in the police cruiser. And now here's where it gets tricky. You got 2 suspects.
Okay.
You got Ashley, you got
Following you.
Carissa.
Yeah.
They're both handcuffed behind their back.
Yeah.
Now, because the police cruiser only had a partition to accommodate one person,
Right.
Carissa was sitting in the front seat of the cruiser. Now, once again, the backup deputy, believing that these 2 women were secured within his car,
Right.
took off to look for the other 2 suspects.
And they always leave the cars running.
I almost wish we
Always
had
do.
like a flow chart for this. During that time, Carissa, still in handcuffs, crawled into the driver's seat and stole the police vehicle, steering with her knees,
Off she goes.
handcuffed behind her back with her friend in the back.
Put it in gear with her mouth.
Officers found the car a short time later on Main Street in Garland.
Right.
And Quintana and Chacon both took off on foot again.
Right.
Police were only able to find Chacon, who I still think has a can-do attitude, because she did manage to wiggle her way into the police.
Right.
This isn't funny, and kids, this isn't funny. This is
Right.
not funny.
Yeah.
But there's Carissa. So they chased after them. They only managed to get Carissa. Ashley Quintana is still at large.
Right.
28-year-old Hispanic female, 5'1", 145 pounds, brown eyes, brown hair. If you could find her, they would appreciate your help from the Tremont police.
Here's the problem with this. Let's say you escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
You escape from the police.
This is a serious and bad thing. I'm not
It
laughing,
is.
kids.
And then you're out in the world, okay? And at some point, you have to walk up to someone and say, "Can you cut these off?" Because you're handcuffed.
No, actually, you would have to do it like this. You go, could you please cut these off?
Right, right.
Now, I'm guessing
The only other
a
explanation
plucky
is...
can-do girl like her probably has a friend that she's already kicked on their door in the middle of the night and said, could you take these off?
Oh, I mean, not the first time. Right. It's either that or a wild night, you know. All right.
You know, the thing is, though, you could actually totally assuage someone's suspicions by going, oh my gosh, things got out of hand, versus them going, were you
Grr.
arrested? You were arrested. I'm calling 911. But instead they're going, oh, you
I
minx.
can't... My husband has the key.
I didn't know what happened.
Records are being broken in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Boy, howdy.
All right. This is awesome. This is
No,
awesome
this is a
story.
wonderful story.
So basically, they have set a record in a frozen embryo that is 24 years old. So it's remained in the freezing.
So this was a fertilized embryo, but that was then frozen To be implanted
So
later
parents,
in a woman's
yeah.
uterus. Okay.
And most of the time, the parents and stuff may be worried about fertility, being at the end of their fertility and stuff, and they'll freeze it for 3 to 5 years, which is the average.
Yeah, there was a certain thing in vogue with business women, especially where they're like, I want to make sure that I'm still able
Right.
to bear children, but I really want to devote my 20s to my career.
So, actually, it was implanted, actually, it grew, and actually, it was born a healthy 6-pound, 8-ounce, 20 inches long after being frozen for 20 years. Now,
24-year-old newborn.
no, wait. Here's the twisteroo.
There's a twist? That's a pretty... Okay, there's
Right.
more.
So, let's figure you're 25, and you decide to freeze an embryo. And you keep paying for 24 years to keep that.
I would, because it's my life. It's
Yes.
still my life.
Well, this is an adoption program.
No way.
It is an adoption program they run, and if there's an embryo that's been fertilized and it's in there, and they try to contact the
So they
people
no longer
because they have
can-
payment. They
Yeah,
know who they
yeah,
are. And
yeah.
they say, would you like to donate this to a couple that's looking to have a child? 24 years later,
That is such a great idea.
isn't it? As opposed to, yeah.
I love that. That is such a good idea.
It is. It's so funny because everyone stops when I tell them a story, and they stop and they go, "Whoa."
You know, the funny thing is, what if you're like 22 and you got implanted with the embryo? Essentially, your baby's older than you are. It's like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm older than you,
That's
Mom.
right.
Now give me the keys to the car.
Oh, that's so funny.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
That is that to me is amazing though, because it just talks about like the tenacity of that little life. It's like that spark is in there. It's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Hey,
That's amazing.
I want to talk about something before we do the next story. And Erin and I were talking, and this is, you know, when you say for Christmas, and you kind of set the ground rules for us. The kids, we know what we're doing for them, but with Erin and I, you want to do stuff for your spouse, and you want to make sure that you have. It's not like have enough, but that during Christmas morning, and we kind of go like low key on and it's like just opening a box. It's kind of flat. It's like, what else? Some little things, but you always do this, and we always say, okay, 1 or 2 things. The next thing you know, there's a pile around my feet.
No, that's because I want expensive things like Botox, and it's not like, you can't give me a syringe under the tree. That looks creepy.
Oh, there's so much for the surprise.
Yeah, right? I know. So it's like, no, mine are just more intangible.
But it's like, you're going to get like one thing.
Well, no, but I told you, we like experiences. We've always would have spent our money on experiences like taking the kids somewhere or doing things together than having more stuff.
But here's the other thing.
Especially after trying to pack it this last year. That was a lot of stuff.
And this is the other thing a lot of couples do and stuff. And basically you write different IOUs, little gift
The
cards.
little love coupons.
And it starts off with, I actually wrote some down that we've used. Okay, so a night out, a gourmet dinner, and dancing.
That was fun.
And then you put it in a little envelope and you give it to your spouse. Another one is your toes in the sand and your head's in the clouds. Ah, so romantic. Moonlight swim at Lake Powell. Oh my gosh, huh? Yeah. Rose petals and champagne. Oh, you see where it's going now, don't you? And this is reality. A quick rendezvous in the laundry room. And you're more likely to cash that one in than the others.
The problem with these, though, and Todd has talked about this before, though, is like whenever you want to cash in the coupon,
It's never the
other
right time.
person has had like the worst day ever. They got a speeding ticket and they had to go get one of the kids because of detention and blah blah blah.
Oh, you make
and
it
then
sound
you come
like-
home and they're lounging. They're going, "I would like to redeem this coupon." And that's when they actually find the lamp from your bedside table hit right over their head. So and that has been equal on both sides, I would like to say. So our sync is
Timing
not
is
always
hard.
as good as our intentions.
Oh, heads up, the DMV is not the right place. That's all I'm saying.
You tried it once, you've learned. That's important.
Facebook is changing.
Well, it's interesting because they've had so many of the different scandals with the Russian fishing during the summer and
Right.
all of the clickbait and all the different things they've been doing. They've also had a rising tide of bullying and harassment. And every time we get friend requests, I go and check. And about 80% of the time now, it's scantily dressed young women who are arching their backs.
And I'm thinking maybe they need money to afford some clothes.
So to me, I'm going to go, yeah, I'm not going to do that one. That's a spam. But they've come up with a couple of new ways, though, to slow down on harassment and bullying. And so there's new features. They've heard stories from people who block someone only to find the same harasser using a different account, which just happened yesterday with the crazy lady who said that mean stuff on our page.
Yeah.
So in order to help prevent the bad encounters, they're building on existing features that prevent fake and inauthentic accounts on Facebook. So let's say you block someone was mean. And then that person creates another account so they can contact you, and maybe you didn't know it was the same person.
Right.
With these new tools in place, their algorithm can recognize the person and shut it down so that they're not able to contact you. And so that way, at least you get the control. They also have a new feature that gives you a chance to ignore conversations, which means that it disables notifications from the conversation. Because you ever been in one of those group ones? And it's like, and you
I
keep
avoid
getting,
those.
You get one like 40 because everybody on the thing is either trying to get out of the conversation or going, who is this or whatever. There's a way that you can click it just once and everything's gone.
I don't even know how to. We get in those group conversations on text on the phone, that is so confusing, isn't it? And I'm like, are you talking to me? And it's like, oh, get the bunny and put it in the toaster. What toaster? What bunny? What are we talking about? And then all of a sudden there's 3 other people jumping in, which I don't know who they are, and they're just friends of ours, but I didn't know they were in on the call. And what if I said something, right?
Sorry. I can see
And
you feel
it's
very
like,
exposed
who
right
the
now.
hell is this? She goes, oh, you're on a phone call with other people too.
I can see you feel very exposed right now. I didn't know that you
And
felt so
vulnerable.
Are you vulnerable?
All right, so coming up, new Oreos out there.
Okay.
And we're going to taste those coming up.
Wait a
with
minute.
Daisy.
First, I have to tell you about the memory thing because this is creepy.
Oh, yes.
You ready?
See, I just forgot. I already forgot something. Go ahead.
Carefully targeted deep brain stimulation might one day enhance long-term memory.
What's that mean?
Well, it's interesting. They've been working a lot with epilepsy patients, and this is kind of interesting. They're working with epilepsy patients, but they're actually working towards Alzheimer's and dementia.
He's got an inverted snare drum on his head.
More or less, yeah. What they've been doing is they've undergone an invasive procedure to insert electrodes deep within their brains as a way of identifying the source of future seizures. But while those electrodes have been there,
Right.
they've also discovered new material, which often happens in medical research, that you're working in one direction and then all of a sudden you find all of this data that goes to another.
Right.
So researchers were asking the patients if they could participate in the memory study, and they presented them with a series of 200 computerized images. Now, some were viewed without any additional intervention. Some were viewed in tandem with exposure to a highly controlled electrical impulse that was directed towards a specific part of the brain.
Okay.
What they found out that delivering a small amplitude brief electrical pulse at a particular frequency as the patient viewed the image significantly by 8 times enhanced their ability to recognize precisely the same image the same day, and they could describe it without seeing it. They could describe it precisely.
Long-term, short-term memory. What are we talking about?
This is long-term.
This is long-term memory.
And
Okay.
I'm not sure why they mislabeled this, but this is really exciting. So basically, they're saying that it's meditated memory enhancement, and what they're hoping is this is something that they might be able to do for Alzheimer's
long-term.
and dementia,
That's awesome.
where it's going to be able to re-stimulate. And they say that once that area of the brain is re-stimulated, and those things start working again, it doesn't matter what your age, and even with the tide of disease, it might be able to, the neuroplasticity of the brain might be able to reverse the tide of the disease.
So with science, long-term memory is being increased. What about short-term memory? I have the study right here.
Dun, 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 dun.
Where are your keys?
Are we going to do this later?
No, I was going to add this to yours.
Oh, okay, because it seamlessly flows.
This is scientific. Okay, this is what happens. If you lose your keys, you need to bark like a dog.
Why would we do that?
Barking like a dog. Because it changes your brain pattern. It changes your brain pattern and suddenly, like the neurotransmitter thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It puts you in a new state so that you will remember, or calm enough, it'll change.
So it's altering the neural pathway of what's currently examining the stimuli.
Have a snack. That might help.
Okay.
Maybe music might help. Patience, because you know how frustrated you get even though you're late for work. I don't know how you're going to do that. This is the best one we have, and this works every time. Ask your child, because Zoe,
We should rent her out.
she's like, and you've looked everywhere, and you're like, Zoe, where I can't find
Except for
my car
my wedding
keys.
ring, she hid it.
I can't find the car keys, and Zoe says like, these, and you're like, what? And just strange things that have been hidden, and she knows where. Maybe she hides them.
It really is eerie with
She's
her,
a
though.
pack rat.
I think it's only the TV remotes because she doesn't want you to change the channel from Nickelodeon.
So now we have short-term and long-term memory.
So basically,
solved.
I'm going to be running around at 4 o'clock in the morning barking like a dog. That's going to be great.
And I can yell at you the same way you yell at our dog when he barks at the front door. Close your ears, kids. All right.
Coming up next.
Oreos next.
Coming up next, we're doing the Oreo taste test, but also, I'm so excited. I've got John here from the Utah Vein Center Clinic, and the reason why I love this man is he just fixed up my leg while I was checking my messages on my phone, and it's like now the same age as the rest of me. We'll explain next. The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you'll find out that you can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. Fink & McGregor, also by the Vein Clinic. If you go to theveinclinic.com, you can schedule an appointment and find out some amazing options for pain-free removal of varicose veins and spider veins. Your legs can look great again with the Vein Clinic. And also by Black Diamond Experts. They're experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They also have a brand new store up in Ogden now. If you'd like to reach them, you can go to blackdiamondexperts.com.
Did you know you can buy a house with a 600 credit score?
Really?
We have lenders, we have programs, stuff that's come up in the last couple of years. 600.
Wouldn't you have to have like 50% down or something though?
Nope. 3.5%.
Where would you start the process on this?
Well, Fink & McGregor has a website, 4minutemortgage.com. You just go there, fill it out, up and running.
How long until you get back to us?
1 business day. Whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
Where do you get the down though if you're broke?
It can be a gift from family, relative, significant other, even your work.
Gift, huh?
Yeah.
You know what that makes me wish?
What?
Makes me wish I had friends with money.
I am 70 years old. I have been married for 47 years. I have 8 children and 31 grandchildren. We keep really busy. Essentially what I have is incompetent veins, which are essentially veins that do not properly close. What happens is that bodily fluid basically via gravity goes to the bottom of your foot and will cause either an ulcer or most people know it as a sore. There was actually bodily fluids that were coming out. It soaks through your socks and, you know, it's just unhealthy. You have to have it taken care of. In terms of how it limited our lifestyle, I went swimming at the J.L. Sorensen Center for exercise every morning, or 5 days a week, and was unable to do that. Couldn't shower, couldn't go into public pools or anything like that. And so this was something that had to be taken care of. I looked on the internet, found the Vein Clinic out here in Riverton, and had heard good things about them, and so I decided to give them a try. They did a great job. They explained the procedure before what they were going to be doing. The procedures didn't last that long. I mean, maybe 15 to 30 minutes on average. They do not give you any medication to put you out or anything like that. There is a minor pain depending on what kind, but it isn't anything that you can't withstand, and it's for a short duration. Facility was always very clean, both in terms of the waiting room, but more particularly in each of the rooms that we would have tests or the actual procedures. It's a fairly new building that they're in. I believe it's probably less than 5 years old. Staff was always very helpful in terms of setting appointments and working around my schedule. I thought they did an excellent job. They just answered every question to the nth degree to make me feel totally comfortable. Very happy with the results. My wound is now all healed up, and so I get to go swimming next week, so I'm thrilled.
Oh, I like this guy. All right, I'm introducing John Whitehead. He is, of course, the clinical director down at the Vein Clinic in Riverton. How are you, sir?
We're doing great today. How are you doing, Erin?
You brought your adorable daughter with you. She's like the visual aid today of cuteness.
Yes, this is Julia.
Hi, Julia. How
Say
old
hi
are you?
to Erin.
Hi.
Hi.
So before we came in, Julia and I are talking about what tomorrow is.
What is tomorrow?
What is tomorrow, Julia?
Winter solstice.
Winter solstice.
It's the winter solstice. That's very cool. What do you do for the winter solstice?
Well, the winter solstice
Sleep.
is the longest.
I'm with you there, honey.
Well, it's the longest day of the year, and do you know what? The winter solstice is my favorite day of the year, and do you know why?
Because you get a sleep.
Well, because every day thereafter is brighter.
That is a good thing.
And if you suffer from seasonal affect disorder like me, and you don't like being in the dark all the time,
You're just waiting for
I'm
the
just
light
thinking,
again.
okay, every day is better and better. It's just going to get brighter.
You know what? That's a really good point because I always have that same thing too. Like, oh, it's dark again already, and you feel like the day's already gone. So this is
Yeah.
going to be nice. See, we all have hope. It's getting better
It's getting
and better.
better. So if you suffer from depression, it's going to get better after tomorrow.
Okay, now the reason why I love you is I'm like your worst possible candidate, which is I guess is a good thing because I've had varicose veins since I was like 20. I'm like a farm. And so my legs have always looked like 20 years older
Sure.
than the rest of me.
Yeah.
It's me. Look how hideous my leg is there. Do you know your daddy fixed all of that right there? So the deal is that I've gone through all the worst ones, like the stripping, which was like laser surgery with, anesthetic. I've gone through the laser ones, which are pretty good and sometimes work. The thing you did, I was lying on my stomach checking my phone messages. It was the only time this has never hurt me.
Hey, look at what are you doing?
And it was really done, and it was done like so quickly. I mean, it recovered like in a day. How is that possible?
Well, it's possible because there's typically 3 different options for vein treatment this day and age, and one of them is pretty well not done anymore. So vein stripping, and most people know what vein stripping is. They've
You probably have the scars.
Yeah, they have a mom or a grandparent who's had a vein stripping procedure,
Mm-hmm.
and then years ago we moved into something. We moved into thermal ablation, so putting a catheter inside the vein, applying heat to a vein wall. And then closing it using heat. So that required access, a number of injections, and then closing with this heat.
Mm-hmm.
But what we have today and how technologies have changed is we've moved into what is called non-thermal procedures. So non-thermal.
You brought toys.
We did bring toys. Non-thermal procedures do not use heat. So they are a device is placed into the vein. Once the device is positioned, you basically just are either applying a glue or you're applying a chemical, and that vein is closed using those methods. So when you're using non-thermal procedures, the patient actually the very next day, you can't even tell they've had anything done. I mean, that's what you experience. So,
No, I mean, I was really, really startled. It was like compression stockings for like a week or two, but nothing hurts, and everything has stayed that way, and there's not even any scarring.
No.
And you saw my leg. It was disgusting, which it was kind of embarrassing now that I
Right.
just actually showed
Yeah.
that. Which one of these work? I mean, in terms of complexity, you've got people like me you've got to work on. How do you get started deciding which one to use?
Well, a lot of it is going to be dependent on the patient's insurance. So if a patient is insured, our non-thermal devices are still being considered investigational. They've been around for years, but insurance companies are typically slow to adapt new technologies. So in this day and age, we're still backing up to these devices. So using thermal devices, radio frequency, laser devices, we offer both of these in our practice. And then our non-thermal devices, using whether it's the Claravane or the VenaSeal, typically fall towards Medicare patient populations.
You get to hold that baby.
So you can
girl.
hold this one and hold this one. So these are our non-thermal devices. So this one here is actually using glue. This one here is actually using a medication. And so these are typically going to be a person that comes in with varicose veins. They may not have insurance, and they're looking for a good option where they can get back on their feet and get back to work the very next day, or even if not even that day. These devices we're going to typically use. These are our thermal ablation devices that are using heat. Those are going to be typically used on patients with insurance. Mm-hmm. The beauty of these procedures, we just saw Marty on the TV. Marty suffered from venous stasis ulceration.
That sounds serious.
It is serious. And so Marty was able to use a device like this. And these ones we can actually access at the ankle. We can treat the entire vein length, and people like Marty do really good. So Marty found good wound healing just relatively soon after having his procedure done. No downtime. We had him in
amazing.
we had him in a boot for a little while, and we were working with our wound care specialist. We do have a good team that we work with around the valley providing wound care.
And you have great follow-up, which is another thing I thought was really important. I mean, Angelia works really hard with patients afterwards to make sure that the scarring is limited, that the recovery is a lot faster.
Right.
And one of the things with Marty, and this is standard, I think, with most men, is that they will ignore it until, like, your leg explodes.
Sure.
And women are more like, I'm tired of my legs looking 20 years older than the rest of me. But the point is, none of this gets better. It's not without intervention.
No.
And if you can treat varicose veins now, you get it done, it's happy, and you're not. It doesn't get worse. It doesn't turn into a problem.
And I think Marty made it very clear. Marty was a very active person. He was doing his at-home missionary work.
Mm-hmm.
He liked to go to the gym. He liked to do a lot of things. But once Marty developed his wound, he was no longer able to go into public pools. He wasn't able to get in the showers. And getting him back to a quality of life by a very simple procedure. And able to get him back into doing those things that he enjoyed. I think he's a very good example of what we see on a regular basis in our practice. So.
Well, I'll have to get my befores and afters done. I'll show you my new leg because it's pretty freaking awesome. But it's so satisfying to see the difference you can make in such a short time. But now, what is the easiest way for people to make a consultation with you?
Okay, so again, we're the only clinic, theveinclinic.com.
Theveinclinic.com.
And so if you're ever thinking, where's the Vein Clinic? Just think, well, the Vein Clinic. And right away, you just type in theveinclinic.com, you run into us, and there we are.
Riverton location, that's my personal favorite.
Yeah, Riverton is just up the street from us here, and then our South Ogden location, for those that are in the north part of Utah, we get people from Wyoming and Idaho into that clinic, and then this clinic down here, we're obviously seeing most of Salt Lake County and Utah.
You get a lot of Park City and a lot of everything.
We
really.
do get Park City, yeah.
Okay, so there's a reason I talk about them, and I'm extraordinarily paranoid about medical people because I will never send you to somebody that I didn't try myself and that I don't trust implicitly. So John is going to be your guy. He's going to look out for you. So I want you to go. It's theveinclinic.com. Go online now. Get your consultation scheduled because you're going to be so excited. It's so nice to feel better, and it can be so simple. So, John, thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having us.
Happy winter solstice.
Me too.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be right back with Daisy and the Oreo taste test.
At Always Black Friday, we love a good deal. We buy new and used products at a discount so we can pass on the savings to you. And we're Gephardt approved. From electronics to clothing to appliances. If you want it, we have it at discount prices. Visit our eBay store or come to our warehouse at 865 West 12th Street in Ogden. Always Black Friday, where you can find Black Friday deals all year round.
Happy Black Friday!
Bye, Julia.
Oh, look, it's the mountain cam.
Brio Technologies. Now look how pretty that is. This is definitely the calm before the storm. It's 51 degrees. And we're about to have the winter hell upon us. Ooh,
All right, so
Oreos.
we're going to talk about Oreos, but first,
we have Hollywood Connection. It's brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. They also have a commercial site as well if you're looking for HVAC. This is pretty funny because Deadpool is one of my favorite movies because it's incredibly sick. And sorry, but that's the way it is. And Ryan Reynolds, who's the star, always loves to see people and what they do with their Deadpool things. Well, you've seen some of Todd's Elf on the Shelf abominations, and so apparently somebody was exercising their right to utilize Elf on the Shelf and his Deadpool action figure. So he tweeted this, if we can see it.
Maybe.
Or not. Basically, yeah,
There
here we
you
go.
go.
So you can see that Deadpool has taken the Elf on the Shelf, and he is winning.
he's got him up on his swords.
Now, apparently, somewhere
Ouch.
along Ryan Reynolds saw this, and he's so twisted. He goes, "This would make my daughter cry for 100 years, and I have no intention of converting it into wallpaper for her bedroom ceiling." And he's like, "Yes, actually, I'm going to." He's the most twisted man ever.
Yeah.
So congratulations, your Elf on the Shelf Deadpool combination has made Ryan Reynolds the happiest man in the world, and his daughter probably ready for therapy by 6. So
Nice.
that's good, right?
All right.
Now, why do we keep doing this to her other than it's fun to introduce Daisy to a natural food combination?
This is for everyone. This is the coconut. And then over here, we're going to have the peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. And then there's hot cocoa Oreo.
And then the hot cocoa. And these are the new flavors I haven't seen before.
Do you like coconut?
I do like coconut, but very rarely with other things.
Yeah.
It's kind of sexy, isn't it? Once again.
These are some of the new holiday flavors,
All
so
right.
let's see how holiday-esque they have become.
All right, so coconut first.
Coconut first. Okay. Oh, there you go.
I should have brought some milk.
I have Red Bull.
That's
That's
close.
That's
almost the
milk
same.
to me.
Close, except for the
Is
color
that an
and
uncommonly
taste.
small Oreo?
These are
It's a thin.
thins.
It's an Oreo thin.
Oh, I was like, what a rip-off. Look how skinny it is.
No, they're waffle thin.
Oh,
Ready?
okay, yeah.
There you go. I don't see the coconut.
There's no discernible difference.
Oh, a little bit.
Really?
We just need to eat more.
Oh, I like it.
I like the thin better.
I like the coconut, though.
You can taste coconut.
Yeah, a little bit.
1 out of 10. What do you give
All right,
it?
there's a little aftertaste that's strong.
Oh, there it is. Just got it.
Out of 10,
Out of 10.
like a
For your liking of Oreos,
7 5/8.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna say.
No,
I'll go with the 7 in the hierarchy of Oreos. I'm not an Oreo fan, though.
you're from
Oh, you're
England. You have to use metric.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
All right, so this is the hot chocolate. I'm saving the big one for last.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
I'm interested to see like what makes the hot part rather than just like chocolate.
This is true.
Do you know what I mean? Like what makes it
If you
hot?
notice that there's a thin layer of brown, I guess, which is the cocoa, and then the white, which is supposed to be the marshmallow.
And this is not a thin Oreo. This is a fat little Oreo.
This is a fat little Oreo.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I think I taste a
We're
little
all
of the
taking
marshmallow.
this very seriously.
I know, right?
It's like American Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like this Michelin chef.
Looking off into space, contemplating. It's just a cookie.
It doesn't matter who gave us the fruitcake.
I don't see it. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not like, hey, look at that.
I taste
No,
a little
no.
marshmallow, maybe.
It's okay.
It's always the aftertaste that works.
Yeah, that's reassuring.
This one's peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Now that could get me a little bit excited.
1, 2, 3, go.
Hang on, I have to have a Red Bull.
Oh yeah, I did.
Cleanse your palate with Red Bull. That's got to be.
We
a
should
good
have had sorbet, shouldn't we?
On a little cup.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
That just tastes like a nutty butter to me.
one. Well, peanut butter.
Yeah. That is actually my least favorite.
Really? I would think
Peanut
you would have
butter.
gone for the peanut butter first.
The coconut's good, but you have to wait till the end.
So how would you rate them? 1, 2, 3.
I like peanut butter, but I'm not a cookie person anyway. The hot chocolate doesn't matter. So it'd be coconut or this if I'm in the mood for peanut butter.
What about you?
Erin, if you could have one of these boxes, which you will, which one would it be?
And you had to eat all
All
of
of
them.
them.
Maybe the hot cocoa, just because it tasted a little bit like marshmallow, but the coconut one troubles
Pass
me
those
because
down
any
to
food
her.
that I have to bite and then I have to wait for 5 minutes and all of a sudden a new alarming taste has entered my mouth. That seems wrong.
Yes, an
like it's
alarming
clung to your
taste.
mucous
Yeah.
membranes and then transformed.
Excuse me, we're
into-
tasting food. Mucus, really? All right.
What do you think's
You can
inside your
take the
mouth?
coconuts.
Yeah, I like the coconuts best.
And I'll take the peanut butter and give it to everybody else.
Okay.
There you go. Tomorrow, guess what it is tomorrow? Because I'm not fat enough. We're going to have eggnogs. All
Trying
of
the
them.
eggnogs?
All of them.
That's going to be great.
One after another, and it'll just keep going and going and going. and
What's
never
going to be the
stop.
difference between them?
Oh, there's many different
The
flavors
amount
of eggnog.
The amount of rum.
Actually, you could do this just with the unleaded ones, and there's so many.
Really?
Yes. Pumpkin eggnog. Yes.
All right, you got to go.
Okay. Oh, I gotta go. I've got
Yeah.
news. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
you
was...
got news.
All right. Well, Daisy is heading over to the Gephardt Daily newsroom.
May I say this?
Yes, sir.
The eggnog I was looking at yesterday, I haven't purchased it yet, but I was looking at the eggnog, and you realize that eggnog came out right after Halloween, right?
That's where the pumpkin spice eggnog came.
Did you see that? It came out right after that.
It's unnatural. It really is. Okay, Daisy is brought to you by Think & McGregor. Mortgage is made simple. Just go to think-mcgregor.com. You can get a credit score. With a credit score of 600, you can get a mortgage, my friends. Also by the Vein Clinic. You just saw John here. The Vein Clinic is going to make your legs look like the same age as the rest of you versus looking like your grandma's. Just go to theveinclinic.com. And also by Denali Performance Clinic. If you want to do all kinds of joint care and actually get your body back in shape without opioids, these are the guys who can help you do it. It's the Denali Valley Medical Center in Bountiful. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making national and world news headlines Wednesday, December 20th on Gebhardt Daily. Well, it's official, sort of. The new GOP tax plan passed the Senate in the wee hours of the morning Wednesday in a straight party line vote. The controversial measure, considered by many to be a tax giveaway to the rich, now heads back to the House of Representatives, where it must be passed again due to procedural errors when they passed it the first time. Republicans say the tax breaks for the wealthy will generate jobs and pay raises for middle-class Americans for years to come. New details are emerging from Monday's Amtrak derailment that killed at least 3 people and injured more than 100 in the state of Washington. The mayor of a city along the new train route taken expressed concerns about the line as long ago as 2013, and he said this week his town was skeptical of the project from a safety standpoint. Investigators say the train was going 50 miles an hour over the speed limit at the time of the accident. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. And a Tennessee woman gave birth to a baby via an embryo that had been frozen for 26 years, the oldest known embryo to result in a live birth. Emma Wren was born to Benjamin and Tina Gibson on November 25th, but had been conceived and then frozen October 14th, 1992, making the embryo 24 years old, 4 years older than the previously oldest known embryo to result in a successful birth. Doctors say the baby is healthy and normal, and that mom and dad are also doing fine. And time again for your Wasatch Front weather forecast, brought to you by Brio Technologies, home of Utah's top audiovisual specialists. You can expect a big change in weather as we head towards the weekend. Highs Wednesday will reach nearly 50 degrees, but that won't last for long. A winter storm is pushing its way into the state, and with it comes a sharp drop in temperatures and a couple of days' worth of snow flurries. With bitter cold temps expected this weekend, there's a pretty good chance we will have snow on the ground Christmas Day. That's it for now. For more news across the nation and around the world, go to GebhardtDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Daisy.
All right, Black Diamond Experts. I keep putting them up because I always figure it's always during the holidays when you have the most stress and anxiety that it would be nice to be able to whip open a cabinet door and you've got your list of people you count on. And I want you to write them down for this, because if something does go wrong in the house, they're the ones who can fix it. And literally anything that goes wrong, they can fix it. And that is electric, plumbing, heating, and air. And eventually you might want to get something replaced and fixed properly, and maybe something new for the rest of your winters and summers. But for right now, if it needs to be something that has to be taken care of, they're 24/7, and they're trained and licensed and bonded and insured, so when they come in the house, there's nothing they can't take care of. And the nice thing, there's no extra added. If you have a quote and this is what they say, that's what you pay. There's no little special surprises. So just go to blackdiamondexpert.com.
All right, this lady in Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
She has a problem. Now, when you're asked to review something, like even at Smith's, they'll say, you take this little survey, we'll give you some gas points or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you meet someone really nice, and I know you do this more than I, and you a salesperson or whatever, and they have a comment box, you might go over there and go, Sally was really great and what a great...
I try really hard to do at least 3 positive comments for any negative review I ever do, because it's so easy to do the negative ones, but the positive ones are really, you don't remember to do them. But that said, it is good that you warn people when something is really god-awful. It's like, right. Please be honest and tell me so that I'm aware of it,
A lot of people on Yelp are idiots, by the way. We know people who have incredible businesses, and of course, there's one person who just comes in. And
which is usually a competitor.
And it's just, exactly. Well, in this case, when you take a vacation and stuff, you're spending a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And you want to have a great time, and you've planned it in your head, and you get to the hotel, and you're like, this is going to be great, and then all of a sudden it's not. This happened late last year, and basically they went and they got their place, and they walked in the room, and guess what they noticed right away? Sewer smell.
Ooh, that's a great start.
And then the water pressure was like drip, 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 drip.
Okay.
They're like, we kind of like a good shower.
I'd like to have a shower.
Right, exactly. So...
Then they checked the bed and there was hair and dirt on the sheets.
And then
other people's hair on your sheets. It's just the most disgusting thing ever.
So they get home and she finds in her email box a question from the hotel. saying, would you please review us? We would like to know what we could do to make your next stay better.
All right.
Good move. Okay. Follow
Maybe
up.
change the sheets from the other person. That would be a good start.
Pretty much what she said. And she ran down the list of things, the reasons she wouldn't ever stay there again. And then the surprise came with a credit card bill that month. And the hotel had charged her $350 for the bad review.
Now, here's the killer part. They had actually put it in the fine print on the check-in information that they said that because this financially affects their business, they have the right to fine people who negatively impact them, even though they're the ones that were pushing for the review. So it's like, but no, you can't really do that. But it wasn't the fine print, so now it goes to the lawyers.
So think about the scam. If you run a bad hotel and you put that in the fine print, and then you go ahead and you know you're going to get the $350, so they're already paying $200 for the room, and now your room is worth how much? Yeah.
I'd be rubbing peanut butter on things.
Right.
Like, let the dog roll around.
Bring in chinchillas.
Isn't that like the worst thing ever?
A llama.
That's so sleazy.
So they actually are talking with their lawyers now.
To get the money back, yeah.
To get their money back for a bad review.
You can't do that.
And think about it. They asked for it. It's not like...
This has got to be a scam. I mean... But the thing is, I have heard increasing stories about this, though. Companies that are claiming that they have the right to do this because it negatively influences their business.
But if they're a jerky business?
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Horrible business.
Sleazy. Okay, coming up.
Cats.
This is the most awesome way to decide how to name a cat ever.
Next.
I'll tell you next.
The Todd and Erin morning stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, there's a short 4-minute quiz, and at the end of it, you can find a whole array of mortgage options, and someone will call you back from Fink and McGregor within the next business day. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Go to utahcreditapproval.com because they know that bad things happen to good people, but that shouldn't stop you from repairing your credit and getting a reliable automobile at utahcreditapproval.com. And also all Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. John has 24/7 service because he knows that emergencies can happen any time of the day or night. And right now they have a $69 special to check out all your heating systems to make sure they're working well. Just go to allutahplumbing.com.
Oh my gosh.
That's really pretty. That looks nice.
It is. Mike went out and shot that over the weekend.
So it's the Winshire morning stream. Very perfect. All right, this is very funny. You know when you get a new pet?
Yes.
And you're trying to think about, okay, I got a cat.
Right.
Here's my cat. Ideally, I hope you get it from the Humane Society and you
Right.
don't buy anything. You get an adopted pet.
Which a good point during Christmas as opposed to going to a puppy mill or a kitty mill.
Yeah, thank you. And so you're sitting there going, what should we name the cat? Right. Well, there was a group about, instead of arguing about this, let's do this, because this was going to be the house kitty. There was a group of roommates.
Oh no, not the laser beams.
And so you can see this is an adorable kitten. They all adore said kitten, so they decided we're going to let him decide. So they basically did 10 cups of cat food and then put the names that everybody wanted in front of the cat food.
Oh, okay, I see.
So here's what happens.
Crow.
Like Fireball. And
all right, so there's the food.
They've got it all laid out.
This is clever.
Then they decided to go to the kitty and see what the kitty wanted to be named.
Right. Oh, there you go. The cat wants to be named that name.
That's so adorable. Who Booty.
Who Booty?
They were saying he went to Who Booty. He almost went there, and then they found someone had cheated with the laser pointer.
Girly, it's Girly.
And they decided to go to Girly.
Is that? Oh wait.
And that's apparently another one. I don't want to know what that cat's name is.
Wow, that was quick. You know why? Because animals like food, period. He was pointed in that direction anyway.
I'm just really disgusted with the guy who was trying to name him Who Booty by cheating and giving him the laser pointer.
The laser pointer to bring him in.
I have to admit, though, that is kind of a creative way to do it.
I did it with my dog once.
How so?
With the laser thing. And I put it right, he was sitting on the couch and his feet were out like this, and I put it right here between his feet, and he just looked down and he was like, and he took a nap. No energy, no chasing.
Gil is a very bright dog. He probably is like, you're
chasing
screwing with me.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm a cat?
Yeah.
All right, so
Denali Medical Clinic. I wanted to tell you
yeah.
about them because Todd and I actually went up there last week, and there's been such a huge problem with opioids, and so they wanted to see what they could be doing, especially, and they started working with athletes. And Dr. Brett Earl, he used to do a ton of different work, like with emergency medicine and all of these things. So he started researching some Eastern options and trying to find some other ways to reduce pain and to heal like joint injuries and migraines without having to stuff you full of opioids, because it's a big problem now. And so he's come up with some systems now and some procedures that are absolutely amazing. And they say that 75% of their clients are taken care of, they're fixed, and they don't have to come back.
Yay.
That's a pretty amazing number. So you and I went up and we decided to get one of the vitamin drips. And it's an IV solution that goes into, it's lots of all the different things, the minerals and everything that's depleted from our bodies because we're all like pasty and exhausted.
And you don't have to worry about absorption
Exactly.
when you take them through your mouth.
Exactly. And the funniest nurses in the entire world. She kept us entertained the entire time. They've got like little blankets if you get tired and little granola bars. But they took such good care of us. And the thing is, though, that they have such a great holistic concept of trying to make sure that you feel better without drugs. And they try to rebolster your system with doing all the other things that you're lacking. It was just really smart. I really liked it. So it's Denali Medical Center. If you'd like to go there, very, very simple. They're up in Bountiful. Just give them a call. Go in, get a consultation, and they've got some amazing things right now. $150 off your first injection, and you can finally have your elbow back or your knee or get rid of your migraine. So it's Denali Medical Center.
We got our first Christmas letter yesterday.
True.
And they come, and we always think they're, your close friends, you already know what's going on, and you know their son got in a traffic accident. It was his fault, and he's grounded now, and he can't drive, and all this stuff. And Sally got into college. But some of the ones that are like your relatives, but like far away relatives that we don't know that well, and they've got kids and stuff. And next thing you know, their 2-year-old was brought into Harvard, and they're going there, and
Stephen Hawking asked our 10-year-old to come and consult on black holes.
right, and so you got that. But also Christmas cards. We got a lady that we really like, and she has an opinion on everything. And first of all, we want to say thank you for watching today. You can watch us on demand anytime you want. If you're watching now on December 20th, it's going to snow at 3 o'clock. Let us know how that worked out for you, okay? So anyway, thank you very much for watching the Todd and Erin morning stream.
And here's our favorite lady. She goes by the tagline of, I ain't doing that. And girl, I'm with you. Have a look.
Have a good day.
Okay. I really do appreciate you always sending me a Christmas card. Really, thank you. But girl, look, I could live about 3 lifetimes without ever seeing your husband in thermal underwear and reindeer antlers.
And they come, and we always think they're, your close friends, you already know what's going on, and you know their son got in a traffic accident. It was his fault, and he's grounded now, and he can't drive, and all this stuff. And Sally got into college. But some of the ones that are like your relatives, but like far away relatives that we don't know that well, and they've got kids and stuff. And next thing you know, their 2-year-old was brought into Harvard, and they're going. And they come, and we always think they're, your close friends, you already know what's going on, and you know their son got in a traffic accident. It was his fault, and he's grounded now, and he can't drive, and all this stuff. And Sally got into college. But some of the ones that are like your relatives, but like far away relatives that we don't know that well, and they've got kids and stuff. And next thing you know, their 2-year-old was brought into Harvard, and they're going there, and
Stephen Hawking asked our 10-year-old to come and consult on black holes.
right, and so you got that. But also Christmas cards. We got a lady that we really like, and she has an opinion on everything. And first of all, we want to say thank you for watching today. You can watch us on demand anytime you want. If you're watching now on December 20th, it's going to snow at 3 o'clock. Let us know how that worked out for you, okay? So anyway, thank you very much for watching the Todd and Erin morning stream.
And here's our favorite lady. She goes by the tagline of, I ain't doing that. And girl, I'm with you. Have a look.
Have a good day.
Okay. I really do appreciate you always sending me a Christmas card.